Hello everyone, welcome to our visionary classes. Okay, so here we are with the lecture 4 on the question series of the third for the environmental biology section. Okay, so before I would start my lecture series, I would like to request you to subscribe our channel and contact us for the latest study material in this number. Okay, so here we are with the lecture series on the UGC 2017 on the environmental biological section. Okay, the first question we are seeing here, it is given that match the list 1 with the list 2. So in the list 1 it is given the group of planktonic organism, while the list 2 is given the example of the plankton organism. Okay, so what does plankton organism means? Okay, so plankton organism includes a wide variety of living organism, that is ranging from the bacterium sized planktons to the gelatin animal like jellyfish. Okay, so this is the size order of the particular plankton that is found in the marine ecosystem. Okay, this is found in the marine ecosystem, these planktons. Okay, so here we can see this is a size scale table. Okay, that is in the form of meter. So the first organism that has higher order of size, that is zooplankton, then come it phytoplankton, then bacteria plankton, then the viruses, then the macromolecules. Okay, so a macromolecule plankton have a size of 2 to the power. The macroplankton molecule has a size of 2 to 20 centimeter, while the mesoplankton has 0.2 to 20 mm. The microplankton has 20 to 200 micrometer. The nanoplankton has 2 to 20 micrometer. So these are the size range of the various planktonic species. Okay, so here we can see the different kind of examples are also given here. Okay, so according to these examples, if we consider the first organism that we are dealing with, that is the amphipoda. Okay, so the amphipod comprises an order of crustaceans. Okay, that is shrimp like in the form. Best example is the prawn. Okay, so prawn, as we know, we are very much seen this kind of organism, that is prawn. So it is around the size of the macroplankton, as we can see it with a naked eye, that is around 2 to the 20 centimeter. So first answer that we will get is macroplankton matching with the amphipoda. So the answer that we are getting here, that is 4. Okay, so the first answer only give us the whole answer. So into the second, if we consider, that is B, that the nanoplankton give rise to pyrophyta, while the mesoplankton give rise to copepod and the microplankton will give rise to rotifers. Okay, so in the first lecture series we have already mentioned rotifers. What are these kind of rotifers? Okay, so moving on to the next type of organism, that is copepod. So copepod is a small crustacean groups that is also present in the fresh water or the salty habitat water, that are the metazoans, which is a good food for the fishes. Okay, so this should be lesser than our microplankton size. So it is justifying that mesoplankton group is of our crustaceans, that is from 0.2 to 20 mm, while pyrophyta is a division or a other category of algae comprising yellowish green to golden brown algae that are mostly unicellular and biflagellates. Okay, so this is mostly unicellular organism. So you can see here that pyrophyta is given the nano size. Okay, so pyrophyta is given the nano size, which is according to the definition of the pyrophyta, that is mostly unicellular organism. So basically you should remember this table before you should answer this kind of question. There is a table that describes the types of the planktonic species, that is around the different kind of sizes: the femtoplankton, the picoplankton, the nanoplankton, the microplankton, the mesoplankton, the macroplankton, the megaplankton. Okay, so these are the different kind of sizes. So nekton is not here, while the varioplankton is around the femto. The bacterioplankton size has pictometer. The mycoplankton size has the nanometer. The phytoplankton is ranging from the nano to the meso. The protozoan plankton from the nano to the around the macro, while the metazoan from the meso to the mega, while the nekton have a macro to total meter centimeter size. Okay, so this is the size range of a different kinds of plankton. So you should remember this table before you should go to exam. So in the next question we are dealing with the question, give rise to an organism that represents the both primary producer and the primary consumer of an ecosystem. Okay, so this answer will be the bacterioplankton, because many bacterioplankton species are autotrophic in nature and they can derive energy from either photosynthesis or chemosynthesis. Okay, so most of the bacterioplankton species are autotrophic in nature, while some other heterotrophic bacterioplankton are also present, which are saprophytic in nature, which obtain energy from consuming the organic material produced by the other organisms. So the saprophytic organisms are mainly called as the primary consumers. Okay, while the primary producer are itself being autotrophic in nature. That's why they are both producer as well as the consumer in terms of primary classification. Okay, so this is the answer. Moving on to this question. So here in this question, it is given that assume that population n of a species follows the logistic growth represented by the following this equation. Okay, so this kind of question, before you should answer this kind of question, you should always remember the equation of the logistic growth model and the graph of the logistic growth model. So here we found always the K, that is the carrying capacity of the ecosystem. Okay, so this is the equation of the given question. Okay, in the logistic growth model we have a defined equation, that is dn by dt equal to r into n bracketed k minus n upon k, where r is the intrinsic increase, n is the number of samples, k is the our carrying capacity, which is rewriting this formula we get Rn equal to 1 minus n upon k. So comparing these two equation, so comparing these two kind of equation, we get that dn by dt we have 0.81 taking common, we have this kind of equation. So this will be our k. So the k will be around 80, but it is given that at what value of n the population exhibit the maximum growth. Okay, so at what value of n the population exhibit the maximum growth. So we have a formula for the maximum sustainable yield in a logistic growth model, that is n equal to carrying capacity by 2. So this will be giving rise to 40. So your answer is the 40. So our question is clear. So moving on to the next question. The next question given that the bioremediation technique of a contaminated soil does not require the fulfillment of the following conditions. So it is given does not require. So you should remember this mnemonics. So the first option is given that wastewater must be present in a physical form that is susceptible to the microbes. Okay. The second is given that waste must be susceptible to the biodegradation. The third question option given is that the environmental conditions such as pH, temperature and oxygen level must be appropriate. The fourth option is given that microbes of any types must be available. Okay, so as we know, the efficiency of a better bioremediation technique, okay, so the efficiency of a better bioremediation techniques depends on the some factors, that is including the chemical nature as well as the concentration of pollutants as well as the physiochemical characteristics of the environment and their ability to the microorganism. Okay, so availability to the microorganism, these are the key parameters that leads to the efficiency of bioremediation. The reason of the rate of degradation is affected due to the bacteria and the pollutant do not contact each other. In addition, the microbes and the pollutants are not uniformly spread in the environment. The controlling and optimizing of a bioremediation process is a complex system due to many factors. These factors are included here: the existence of the microbial population capable of degrading the pollutant. So this statement is very useful for answering this question, because it is written that the microbial population should be capable of degrading the defined pollutant. So if we have a contaminated soil, so we have a defined kind of pollution in that soil, so we should give a defined kind of microbes to degrade those kind of pollutants and use and be a part of bioremediation technique. But in the fourth option it is given that microbes of any type must be available. So this is a wrong answer. So it will be the answer for our question. So this is the answer for our question. While there is given that the physiochemical characteristics of the environment, so the waste must have a physical form that is susceptible to the microbe as well as that susceptible to the bioremediation, and the environmental conditions are applicable only. As we can see, it is given that the types of soils, the temperature, pH and the presence of oxygen and nutrient are necessary for the bioremediation process. I hope you enjoy this lecture, and if you have some any doubts you should comment in the comment box and I should answer your questions. Okay, have a good day.